So why does he keep, I mean, I understand, I read the report and I understand it's you're stealing food. All right. And I'm sympathetic and empathetic to the fact that you're homeless and you're hungry. But I know in San Antonio, there are places where the food is free. It may not be what you want, but it's free. So I don't understand. And I looked at your criminal history. So your criminal history is extensive. And so why should I give him less than the year? That's what I'm trying to understand. State of Texas versus Brian Edward Boatwright. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
The attorney of record is Joanne de Hoyos, Joseph Stateson covering, and Mr. Boatwright. Would you give this judge permission for you to do the plea in place of Mr. Hoyos?
Yes.
All right. And are you Brian Edward Boatwright?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. If at any time I'm speaking too low or you don't understand, just let us know. Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Boatwright, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Boatwright, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
I believe so.
Right. Did you understand you're charged with the offense of theft under $2,500 enhanced? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargaining agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes,
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
I did, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Boatwright, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor. No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, I am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 12 months in the state jail facility. There are no applications, and this is to run concurrent with night mag number 723414. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
I believe it's the punishment to be assessed at a cap of 12. We're going to you for cap of 12.
A cap of 12 months. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right. After reviewing States Exhibits 1 and attachments, court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. All right. Can we proceed with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. State, what's his criminal history other than the theft cases?
So, Judge, there is some criminal history I can let you look at the NCIC if you want.
Any objection?
No objection.
Thank you. Thank you.
I apologize, there have been two cases today. It's just basic information, I think one is.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, anything else from the state other than that? All right, defense?
Your Honor, my client had accepted previously this same case. I went to state jail facility for 6 months, negotiating with the state. We got agreement to ask you to do a cap of 12, where you would decide 6 months to 12 months.
Mhm.
He knows that he had a 1244A in the past.
Yeah.
He's done 6 months. He's homeless. He phrases it as chronic homeless. He has no family here. He was staying at Haven for Hope before this happened. He got hungry. He had an altercation, not an incident where he left Haven for Hope. He didn't want to cause a scene. He didn't want to retaliate back. He left. Didn't have money. Got a hot dog at Walmart, and he was asking for 10 months, and we're asking something lower than 12.
All right. So why does he keep, I mean, I understand, I read the report and I understand it's you're stealing food. All right. And I'm sympathetic and empathetic to the fact that you're homeless and you're hungry. But I know in San Antonio, there are places where the food is free. It may not be what you want, but it's free. So I don't understand. And I looked at your criminal history. So your criminal history is extensive. And so why should I give him less than the year? That's what I'm trying to understand.
I would, there was an incident at Haven for Hope shortly before this happened. He didn't want to pick up a new offense. I understand it's under $20 theft, but he didn't want to get into a fight. He pulled off, he walked away. There could have been a scene at Haven for Hope. He relies on Haven for Hope to stay there, but he would tell you that he did take the hot dog.
I had something.
Sure. You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
I commit to be for an honest answer.
No. What's your name?
Brian Edward Boatwright.
All right. So Mr. Boatwright, what did you wish to say?
I was just going to say that once I'm not in that shelter area, I have problems downtown. The homeless society down there is a little different than it is outside of the downtown area. But I start drinking alcohol, and then the alcohol influences my thinking, and I end up doing what I did. I don't know if I can feel it worse or better, but that's basically what happens. And then I end up doing things like that, and it's either, and I try not to do that. I end up flying a sign because you have to stay at Haven long enough for DPS to give me my ID back. It's not the $20 from a state ID card. I lost my wallet a few years ago. I struggle with this, and I haven't been able to do any even day labor work through temp services because with a Haven ID, that's not good enough to register with them.
I'm sorry, sir, I need you to speak up or speak in the.
Oh, yes, ma'am. And I don't know why I'm saying all that, but I guess I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just trying to paint a picture of the situation to, I guess, and that's because it's not a very smart thing. And alcohol does tend to make me think I'm much smarter than I am at the moment. It makes my life seem more tolerable on the street, but it has a bad end every time. So.
And do you have any family living on the planet?
I have a brother, and I just don't really, we're not enemies, but I leave him alone because his wife's not comfortable around me. He's got a second wife, and I just kind of avoid him. I see him once in a while. And he had tried to help get it set up before for me to live at the Salvation Army on Nolan Street where I used to stay. With just my Haven ID at first, living upstairs where you pay by the month. And then I could get all my ID back and get my Social Security retirement started, which wouldn't be a lot, but it would cover living there. And I like that Salvation Army.
And what was your prior occupation or what did you do?
Well, I've done a lot of labor work, but I used to work with petroleum attorneys and petroleum landman and did title work for oil companies. And that was the main thing that I did, and what my brother does. He's in a more professional bracket. I was never very stable with anything I did in life, and I've had these recurring issues with alcohol for years.
So how are you planning on handling your alcohol issues? Because otherwise, look, whether I give you 12 months or 10 months, at some point in time, you're going to be out of custody
Right, yes, ma'am.
and you're going to be back out in the free world.
I know.
So what are your plans?
I always have these plans, but it's not that I don't have plans, but I end up
No follow through?
become a chronic failure. And I think it's somewhere along the line, I might have given up more than I thought I did. And
How old are you?
68. And
All
I
right.
thought when I went back to Haven for Hope, I was determined that I was going to stay no matter what. And there's a lot of angry people there. And I'm not a person who likes confrontation.
Are you originally from San Antonio?
No, ma'am, I'm from Midland, Odessa.
All right. So are you planning on going back to Midland or no?
What I really thought about doing was when the state jail term is up, they will give you a bus ticket anywhere within the state. And I thought about going to El Paso and going over to making my way over to Tucson because I like Arizona. I like.
Well, here's the thing. Yes, they give you a bus ticket to anywhere, but if you're getting a bus ticket and you're going somewhere and there's no plan in place.
Well, they have a very good place. I've never been to it, but it's a shelter system like Haven for Hope in a sense. And I would hope it might not have been as crowded as here. Just going somewhere different doesn't solve my problems, but it might be good. I don't know. When they have a place called Primavera Center, which is well known, like Haven for Hope, we're having a complete.
You know, there was a comedian, and I think he's since passed, but the first time I heard him and my mom heard him, we thought he was hilarious because he was pretty deadpan. And he told this joke, and his joke was, no matter where you go, there you are. So it's wherever you go, your problems that you had before are still going to be there. You can't outrun problems.
Right.
All right. Any questions?
No, you're
No, you won't.
All right, Mr. Boatwright, I'm going to sentence you to 10 months in the state jail facility. I'll give you credit for any time served. Take in consideration NIMAG number 723-414, and as previously stated, the court is finding you guilty. I can ask that you be placed in the therapeutic community while you're there. It doesn't increase your time. Your time is 10 months. Whether you're in therapeutic community or not, it's still going to be 10 months, but perhaps they can help you with your alcohol issues. Would you like me to recommend that?
Yes, Your Honor. That's fine. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
I believe I did. Thank you.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You're in your 60s. You and I both, we are in the twilight of our lives. And as my mom says, Father Time is not great to anyone. So you're going to have to start following through on whatever your plans are, because otherwise you may end up finding yourself in prison. Your counsel will tell you at a certain point in time with state jail felonies, they are enhanceable. And your minimum may end up being, well, your maximum may end up being 20 years.
Yes.
And I don't think you want to go to prison for stealing $19 worth of food for 20 years. I once had a client, and it's a matter of public record, so I can say it, who was on parole. And he was on parole for stealing what goes on the water hose, the little, I forget what you call it, but it's the little thing that connects it to the faucet. And that is 50 cents. And do you know what? He was on parole for life for 50 cents. So don't be that person. If you have a drug or alcohol problem, guess what? You can go to an NA meeting anywhere in the Texas, anywhere in the United States. And I guarantee you, if time when you get out, if you step foot in the free world and you find an AA meeting or an NA meeting, there are people probably in that group who can probably tell you, oh, I used to be where you were. This is the shelter I went to, or I used to be where you were. Here's where you can get some free food. Because otherwise, you're going to find yourself living at somebody's institution. Do you understand?